Well, hello everybody, and welcome in to some sports show that we like to do every week here on the Pop Culture Pros Network. I'm going to warn everybody right now. I'm in a bit of a mood. I got the Mets game on in front of me, and they are close to being swept by the Chicago Cubs.
Yeah, this will cheer you up. This is my niece. It'll cheer you up.
Oh no, okay.
You know
what? My first.
You can't be mad. You can't be mad at that face.
No.
You can't be mad.
So. Beautiful smile. You know what I thought you were coming at me with was a picture of a possum or something.
No. I saved those for our private posts. I know how much you love the possum.
All right. I am Steve. Got Timmy here to my left. What's going on, my friend? How's everything going with you?
I mean, dude, coming off a big week. A weird week. But for us Giants fans, it was a good week. I did a lot of cursing, a lot of yelling, a lot of
my God,
shock and surprise and awe, and so I can't wait for week 2 now.
Yeah, a lot of ups and downs, clearly, in which is always the case. Week 1 is always like you don't know what's going on. Vegas is just guessing at that point. How teams are going to be. For the most part, you can get it right, but there's always those teams that just surprise you. Hopefully, this year it is the New York Football Giants.
Yeah, when we get to football, I'll tell you how my pick'em day was going. At one point, I was like, "Whoa!" But yeah,
Timmy wasn't happy. That's.
I'll even tell you the funniest story when we get to football. Though I'll wait till then.
Okay, so we'll see. Dave should be joining. Dave likes to make his fashionably late entrances. So we were going to start one direction, but let's take this to a different direction here, and we'll start off with some baseball stuff. And with baseball right now, the first thing that we got to talk about before you hit any divisional races is Judge's after his 2 home run performance last night, up to 57 on the year. 4 away from Roger Maris's Yankee record. And remember, we talked about this last week that Roger Maris's son was disappointed that he didn't come out and recognize. Well, today or yesterday, he came out and did the opposite and recognized that the 73 is the official record. Jesus. Which no matter what he says, he's going to get shit for it. I guess. But talk. I mean, Dave could probably talk about it too. But as a Yankee fan, a few years ago, Pete Alonso was going after the rookie home run record, which was Judge's, and he broke it by 1. So, but that's a rookie record. This is historical. This is potentially setting a Yankee record, and we all know Yankee lore. And Terzio, I know we're not. We turned this into a show that you can talk about the Mets, by the way. But Timmy, how is it going through game by game with this guy? And is it to the point where you're shocked when he doesn't hit home run?
Yeah, he had a couple games there where he went out without. You know what? It's hard because they're also an independent race. It's
right.
If they were up 25 games, it'd be like, oh great, let's just concentrate on Judge and not worry about what's going on. But no, they're in a race also, so it's hard to kind of if I had to pick one, I want them to win the East. If I had to pick one.
Yes.
The home run comes second. Individual records come second. But you know what? I see this the way Bonds and McGwire did it, man. That's why I would honestly and truthfully, not because I'm a Yankee fan, I would rather have the 62 than the 74.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. If he hit 74,
if it's 74,
that would be awesome. That would be awesome. Don't get me wrong. He ain't going to get 74, though. But, yeah, I mean, I'd be so happy with the 62 because, McGwire did it juiced up. Perfectly admitted it. And Bonds is 100 times worse because he did it He juiced up to beat McGuire because he didn't want, quote, this isn't me. This is a quote. Google it. A white person to have that record. And
Yep.
that's just an awful way to do something. And to, it's so
Ain't the
fuck
right
them
way to do
both.
business.
Yeah, the hell with the both of them. So I like this. I hope he hits 62. I think he's going to hit 62. And that's it. I'm rooting for that. I'm good. 61. You know what? I'm fine.
Oh
Tie it.
yeah, if it
Tie it.
ties Roger.
I'm good with that too. So I hope he does it, and I like that record better than the 70, 73 and the 70 from McGuire. It was all for the wrong reason. So
Yes, yeah, and they were having a debate today on First Take, and it was I guess we do shows a lot on the days that what's this guy Mad Dog is on First Take. So they were talking about this whole situation and Hall of Fame, and so the person who was debating him, it wasn't Stephen A. It was Swagoo, which I like. I love that guy. I think he's funny. He gets his points across very. He's articulate and whatnot. But so he was saying, you know what, the Hall of Fame thing and the record thing is two totally separate things for me. If you they should all be in the Hall of Fame because you can't tell me that everybody in the Hall of Fame is clean. So he said that's one. But the other part of it, if you want to say that the real record is 61 because Roger Maris didn't do it, okay, I'm good. I'm okay with that. Which I guess after all these years, and you see, like, especially when you let David Ortiz get in, now that just that opened up a whole can of who should and who should not go in.
We had that conversation. Why does he slip in? And much as I hate Manny Ramirez, why? Because Ortiz is a nice guy. Manny Ramirez was a dick. A-Rod was a dick. That's just how it is now. Kurt Schilling's an asshole. It's just,
yeah.
Ortiz is a sweet, nice guy who rallied them after the bombing year and they had the bombing. So, we're going to let him in. That's bullshit too, though. His name was on that list, people.
It absolutely was. But back to Judge, and we'll even ask Terzio. You can give us a number. How many do you predict Judge to end up with here? The other stuff is not. Don't start in. So you've got 62.
I got 62.
Even just breaking one. How many games left? About right around 20, 18-ish.
And it gets harder and harder to hit them, man. That last 2 weeks is going to be real hard because people aren't going to want to throw anything to him. He might end up walking 25 times in the last couple of games.
Yeah.
So
especially what's up? Rick says Bonds has the record.
Yeah, Rick he does for the juiced up roid heads. He does.
Yeah, and we've talked about this before. And back to the Hall of Fame thing, I'm fine with them just putting in a steroid wing of. I mean, it was part of baseball history.
It's true.
They built up the numbers no matter how they did it. But I mean, it's always plain as day to see that once the guys that we know were taking the steroids, once they came off the steroids, all these injuries started popping up, and Poppy with it, and it seemed to be both of them with hip issues also. Terzio says Pujols is going to get 702.
Good, I hope so.
He's at 697.
Again, class act guy. There's no proof that he ever used anything. He has 700. Why is it fair that it's not fair that like you said, you got to have a separate wing then, because why should Pujols be put next to Barry Bonds or Mark McGuire? It's two separate, three separate guys, two separate. It makes me sick. I can't even think about it. But if you let one in, you got to let them all in.
Of course.
And again, now did Clemens use it his entire career or as he got older? We don't know, but he was still good in the 80s and the early 90s. He was still, maybe later on he started taking it. When he started throwing baseball bats at people and a little wacky.
Off bats.
But we don't know if he took it his whole career or not. But that dude definitely deserves to be in the Hall of Fame if you're going to let them in. He should be the first one in. Honestly, even before Bonds and McGuire, he should get in right away.
Yeah. I mean, they would have to go back and look at all these guys that are falling off the ballot, and then have the writers say, okay, if you don't want them in the normal route, we're gonna open up this new section. It's gonna be the steroid era from 1996, whatever, through 2000, whatever. Now, would you vote for them? And if they still don't, then there's a big problem.
Listen. I love a lot of those old school players, and maybe they weren't on steroids, but they were doing something. I mean, the
Yeah.
50s, the pills were big in the 50s. Coke was big in the 70s. We know a lot of people who did that
and
shit
80s.
in the 70s and the 80s. We know a lot of teams and players that run that shit. So, like I said, if you're going to start separating one group, and then again, like I said, Coke is probably Coke can make you very aware. See that ball coming in, look like a balloon coming in.
Look at the
fast.
Mets.
So, but I guess those.
But if it gives you a championship, it's okay.
It's fine.
Oh man. All right, let's get caught up with some of these comments. Rick says, "What's up, boys?" Terzio, yeah, we talked about this. Roger Maris is undisappointed when Aaron Judge said that Bonds is the record to beat. Rick says Clemens a worse crime, corrupting Pettit. Blaming it on Clemens? He's a grown guy. He's a grown guy. He could do what he wants to do there.
Well, we talked about that last week, though. I said I honestly Clemens I think would take steroids to get ahead. I think honestly believe Pettit when he said he did it to get healthy because he was having a bad. Maybe I'm being naive and stupid.
Well, I think that pitchers are. I mean, it helped for everybody, but I think pitchers would be able to get away with that excuse more so than the hitters because you're not trying to drive. You're trying to drive the fastball and whatnot, but you don't see fastballs didn't get juiced up from the steroids. But I could believe that more coming from a pitcher for sure.
And just to tell Rick, just because I hate Bonds more because like we just said, he did what he did out of spite. And he did it as pretty much it was racist why he did what he did to beat McGwire because he couldn't have a white person have that thing. That's why he shouldn't get in at all. I don't think. I don't give a shit because that's a horrible, horrible thing. But what the rest of them did was bad. That's a direct quote. Don't think I'm the asshole making this up. Look, you can Google it. It's true. It's out there. So I don't think he should ever get in. No matter steroid wing or not. You could put like a little thing in the corner, like
steroid racist.
That guy, yeah. You don't have to put him in the Hall of Fame, but you could put a picture of him in there, like this guy did steroids and hit 73 because he's a racist piece of shit. There you go. Yeah. That's his little corner. Put it by the men's room. Put it by the men's room.
Terzio says a lot of Yankee fans are saying that they don't care if the Yankees don't have home field advantage in the playoffs for the best record.
That makes no sense. No sense. Nobody wants to play that first round bullshit.
That's
nobody.
Right.
Nobody wants a 3 game because anything can literally happen in 3 games. Anything can happen in 3 games.
Mets are about to get swept by the Chicago Cubs. They don't have 60 wins.
And if it was the playoffs, guess what? You'd be out. That's what I'm saying.
Done.
Anything can happen in a 5-game series. I hate it. Or a 3-game, whatever. I can't stand it. So that's bullshit. I want a first round bye or whatever it's called.
Of course. That doesn't make any sense. Any fan of any team that says that is worried about being caught in the standings, perhaps. And I'm sure this has been said by Mets fans, Yankee fans. Who else has a slim lead? Actually, any of the other divisions slim?
No, they're all pretty much.
They're all done.
Dodgers clinched already.
Dodgers clinched the damn division yesterday.
But no, it doesn't make any sense. Look at the Yankees last year. They were better than Boston. I'm sorry, but they were. 1 game. Goodbye. Doesn't make sense.
The one game nonsense was that's as bad as runner on second.
Yeah, it doesn't prove anything. Like you're supposed to have a 7-game, 5-game series to prove who's a better team. But 1 game does nothing. Anybody can win 1 game.
Yep. Terzio, we're gonna get to football in a little bit. So he's glad to see that the Cowboy season is over already.
Hey, don't count them out yet.
Yeah, Dr. Jerry Jones has a new prognosis for Dak.
I didn't even have them making the playoffs this year, so this is very enjoyable.
This especially if you had them not making the playoffs
with Dak and Zeke. I had them not
with
making it.
Wacky Dak,
So,
Wacky Dacky. Looking around the divisions, I guess the White Sox, the American League Central is kind of close. The White Sox are 4 games out. Minnesota's still hanging around 5.5 out. Blue Jays 5.5 behind you guys. Tampa is now 7 back. They've lost a couple in a row. Yankees have won 3 in a row, so a little bit of
them. I'm tired of
separation. Who, Tampa?
No.
Oh,
they're like the little engine that could. It doesn't make any sense why they're there every year. It makes no sense whatsoever.
We talk about that on the Put in the Book show. We talked about the Rays from the American League seem to be able to plug anybody in, and I guess until now they have Goldschmidt and Arenado. They've really ramped up in St. Louis, but they were like that for a time also, where a guy got hurt, they bring some schmo from Double-A, plug him in at second base, and he's got 25 home runs, 90 RBIs.
Yeah, like okay. I always laugh at that too because we look at like the history who won the last couple of years. It's like Cardinals, Giants, Cardinals, Giants. I was like, where was I? I was like, oh yeah, that's right. I forgot.
Goddamn Giants, man.
Giants, Cardinals. And you throw a fucking Red Sox in there. I'm like, come on, man. Ridiculous.
Random Red Sox. What was that, 2018?
Yeah.
Houston is obviously going to clinch here any day now if they haven't already. They don't have the magic number on here, but they have a 12.5 game lead. Mets and the Braves, it's a 1-game lead right now, and if this fucking score holds up, it's going to be back down to a half game. Philadelphia hanging around 9 games out, but that's more for the wild card. St. Louis has a 7-game lead over Milwaukee, and like you said, Timmy, the Dodgers have clinched. What the heck?
See, now you play the Dodgers in one game in a 1-game playoff. You beat them. Are you the better team? Not even ridiculously close.
No.
So anything can happen. So to people, for any fan to say I don't want a home field advantage, you're an idiot. You're an idiot.
Doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense at all.
You'll see my football picks. I think out of this 15 games, I picked 14 because they were all at home. The home games look like they're going to be a big thing this week. So if I was confused, home game.
This week it got a little wacky for me. Also,
home team.
Yeah.
I think I'm one away game. I think I picked.
Wait for the spreads. Wait for until we see the spreads here. And then the wild cards are pretty much wrapped up also, unless Baltimore makes a surge here. I can't believe we're talking about Baltimore on September 14th. Baltimore's 4.5 out of the wild card. So don't think that that'll change much. And then in the National League, it's only one other team that can get in there, and that's Milwaukee. Atlanta, Philadelphia, San Diego have the wild card, and Milwaukee is a 1.5 out of the last wild card spot.
And as we know, Milwaukee is really pronounced Milwaukee, which is Algonquin for the good land.
There we go.
You know. I had to throw a Wayne's World reference in there. I don't know.
There it is.
Who says movies don't teach you things?
Exactly.
Everything I've learned.
Everything could be educational.
Everything I've learned from movies and TV. Everything.
All right, Terzio, we're getting a rally going here. No one will be fucked up if the Mets don't beat Oakland. And oh yeah, that's true. Mets. Oh yeah, the Mets go to Oakland because rivalries take place in September.
Hey, at least there'll be plenty of tickets available. You guys can fly out there and get seats, dugout, sit on the dugout.
Yeah, we can lay out. Just
they don't care. They're just happy you're in there.
Oh man! All right.
Well, first of all, Oakland, real quick. Did you see Sasha Banks, the wrestler? If anyone knows her, she went to Oakland. She went into a store for literally, he said 3 or 4 minutes. Someone broke her back window and stole something out of her car.
Oh yeah.
So that's Oakland, people.
There's a little reason behind that. Whoa, and half set. What is Terzio talking about? Oh yeah. I don't know about this. I don't know what the last part is, but I don't know if you saw there was a reporter in Milwaukee when the Brewers had a home run in Milwaukee. They have that guy that goes down the slide.
Bernie.
Yeah. So yeah. Oh yeah.
Terzio.
Oh yeah. Yes. Up or down.
How do you? And then look. Let's talk about those people real quick. The stadium's empty. How do you even try that when you're all by yourself in a whole section?
That's
It's
it.
ridiculous. They wanted to get caught. They wanted to
Oh
get
hell
caught.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
There's
yeah.
no way. I
They put
understand there's
that on
100 people around you.
OnlyFans.
You try to, you try to slip one in when there's 1,000 people around you. They're by themselves in the upper deck. Idiots.
Unbelievable.
Fucking
But
white people, man.
Tersey was
White
talking
people.
about. That was my ex-wife. He says, "Yeah, that."
Oh, bum. Here they come. Here they come.
So the reporter, I guess, thought it would be cool to take his place or try the slide. So he goes down the slide. He's not wearing the same cushiony protection that the mascot wears, and he slams into the barricade at the bottom, breaks his arm.
That's great. That is so great.
Unbelievable. All right. One other guy that I wanted to just kind of talk about real quick is Mike Trout. He single-handedly in my fantasy baseball league against producer Joe from Put in the Books. He had a home run in every single game that he played last week. So he home run, and now he's up to 7. And I guess is he playing? Are they playing tonight or whatnot? I'm not sure, but it's a constant reminder that he's being ruined out there. With the Angels.
Look, Tersey, you might want to cover your ears, but Mike Trout will be a Yankee next year. Just saying. You can have Ohtani if you guys want. Pay him that money. We're going to get Trout next year because Aaron Hicks is just completely useless. So,
oh man.
So bank on that. Once they said they're selling that team, I started brushing. I was like, here comes Mike Trout next year.
There goes Pete. Big Pete. All right. 6-3 now, Timmy. Jesus. It's the bottom of the 8th. Oh, it was 6-0. You don't go down 6-0 to the Chicago Cubs with 60 wins.
In September.
60 and 82. We've been stuck
race.
on 89 wins for 3 games now. Pete Alonso's here, did a solo home run, the bottom of the 8th. Thank you very much. Don't you dare, Terzio, say anything like that again. Mike Trout is not going to the Philadelphia Phillies. Trust me, we'd rather Mike Trout go to the Yankees than to the Phillies. That's the way of thinking,
Smart Met fan you are, Faraci. Smart.
And then we bring in Ohtani. You don't want Trout and Harper? No.
Yeah, that'd be pretty dangerous.
That's disgusting. Well, if Harper stays, both of them actually, but Harper more so.
Well, if Judge walks, we'll get Harper and Trout. So.
Well, what's that? The rumor is these people they always make these comments, but it's the Giants, right? The Giants that are going to have all this money to spend or whatever.
They're going to hand him a blank check at the end of the year. If he hits 61, 62, here's the checkbook. Write what you want. We'll just worry about it later. I don't think it's the money. I think it's the years, which I completely agree on.
Yeah,
I'm not giving this dude 10 years. If the Mets want to give him 10 or the Giants, sorry, you got to go. 10 years is too much for a 30-year-old, 32, 30. Well, how about 32?
You can't do that. I think I said this on, it must have been the Met show, but if you're going to do a 10-year contract, the cutoff for me on that is 27 years old.
Yeah,
maybe 28, because if you're giving away a 10-year contract, this is an elite player, or supposed to be an elite player. So if you win, 2 World Series championships within that time, even if he's broken down in the last couple of years of the contract, for me, that's especially as a Met fan, that's worth it. Bringing in a couple World Series and getting that monkey off your back. All right. One more thing in baseball, and then we'll move on. I want to talk about some of the new rules. Every time I hear new rule, I think of Bill Maher. He has a segment on the show. New rule: do this when you do that, so on and so forth. And we got Vientos here. Terzio, 0 for what? 0 for 10 now.
Judge just struck out too, by the way.
Who are they? Red Sox?
He's not getting 58 tonight. That's the top of the 9th, unless the Red Sox tie it. Unless the Red Sox tie it, which we don't want. So let's just end this game.
What did Well, I'll get to that, but let's talk about the new rules. There's 3 new rules that are going to take place starting next year. I really don't have a problem with any of them. I'm not big on the bigger bases thing, because I didn't. And we talked about it last week, but I didn't really know what the reasoning was behind it besides first base, because first base, have those collisions on the bang bang plays. But so it's going to go from 15 inches to 18 inches, first, second, and third base. So it's gonna create a 4.5-inch reduction. It's no longer gonna be 90 feet between first and second base, second and third base. Right, it's ruined the whole. Now it's what 90. So it's going to be 85.5 feet in between each. So 4.5-inch reduction in the distance between first, second, and third. The bigger bases have benefit of reducing over sliding. I guess a lot of people are complaining that on these replays, your pinky lifts off the base and now you're out.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're off the base, you're out. So I guess that's one of the issues there. And of course, to give some more room to maneuver, to reduce injuries.
I said it last week. They should have just put
the double base, right?
Double base on first base. That's it.
Yeah,
just like they do in the parks in the city. Yeah, the double base. One guy, the first baseman puts his foot on the first one. You step on the second one. It's still the same timing.
So you can run right through. Exactly.
You run right through, no problem. But
we have to home plate. The home plate stays unchanged. And this is the bigger bases is one that it's meh, whatever. I don't. And it's also gonna create some more stolen bases because it's a slightly short. How many plays? It's like a bang bang play now. It'll be an easy safe.
Does anyone steal anymore? That's like a dying art, stealing bases.
Well,
so
that gets me into this one. So. The other one is the pitch timer. So this is twofold. So pitch timer, as well as a limit to the number of times you can throw over. All right, Terzio.
Take care, Frank.
All right, Terzio. So what the combination of all this did was between pitches is a 15-second timer. If the bases are empty, and if there's anybody on base, then it's a 20-second timer. The pitch timer has reduced games by 26 minutes, and it's also increased the stolen base attempts and success rate. And it's because you can only throw over so many times. So I don't know if I saw how many times you could throw over, but let's say 4 is the limit. If you've already thrown over 4 times, that base runner now knows you can't throw over anymore. So he can take a big lead. You could step off.
And technically, he can wait till that clock says like 3 seconds, and he has to throw it within 3 seconds. You could take off.
Yep,
that's a huge advantage. That's a huge advantage. If I was a pitcher, I'd be a little annoyed at that.
Yeah,
because now this guy knows he knows you have to pitch this ball in the next 3 seconds. I can take off. I can take off at 2. And you can't throw it because you already use your. Oh yeah, that's gonna be a big advantage.
Yeah, and well, there's more to it. Also, with when you have to start your pitch, your wind up. Thank you, Jesus Christ. So in the minors, steal attempts have gone from 2.23 in 2019 at a 68% success rate to 2.83. It's minimal increase in the attempts, but it's a 77% success rate. With that, pitcher must begin his motion to deliver the pitch before the expiration of the pitch timer. Pitchers who violate the timer are charged with an automatic ball, and batters who violate the timer are charged with an automatic strike. Batters must be in the box and alert to the pitcher by the 8-second mark, or else be charged with an automatic strike. So it's going to be that's going to be weird seeing it. They used to do it to us in high school and whatnot. You don't get back in that umps that have a time limit. if you step out of the box, it's a strike. And I made that mistake once in my life. The umps announced at the beginning, no stepping out, 1 foot in the box the whole at all times. And I took 2 steps out. He said strike 2. I was like, oh. Um,
It's gonna be weird next year.
it is. With runners on base, the timer resets if the pitcher attempts to pick off or steps off the rubber. Pitchers are limited to 2 disengagements, pickoff attempts per plate appearance. However, this limit is reset if the runner advances on a stolen base or a wild pitch or whatnot. If a third pickoff attempt is made, the runner automatically advances 1 base if the pickoff attempt is not successful.
I don't like that.
That's too much.
That's too much. You can't. How are you going to limit the? Again, the runner now has a lot of advantage knowing when you
Yeah.
have to pitch. You should let the guy throw as many times as you. I mean, I don't get me wrong. I hate when they throw over the first 15 times. I can't stand it. But
Oh,
if you're giving the runner exact knowledge of when this guy is going to throw this ball, you can't take away that. You can't take. I don't know. I don't like that part.
yeah. And we go through these things. I don't really like that part either. You should be allowed to. I mean, that's part of the game is to hold the runners. But then I was going through this and I'm like, why am I getting annoyed that both sides agreed on this? So
True.
if we can get baseball, the players and the owners to agree on things, it's a minor miracle.
I guess so.
Special circumstances. I don't know what that means. Needing time to put catcher gear. Anyway, the basis is you got 15 seconds to pitch the ball if there's a runner on base. If there's nobody on base, and 20 seconds to pitch the ball if there's a runner on base, and the batter has to be in the box by 8 seconds. So I think those are the major things. And then just like everything else, we'll get used to it. And then the last thing is the defensive shift limits.
Oh, good. This I like.
I freaking love it, and so do. By the way, the pitchers love it too. The pitchers don't like it because I've seen Jacob deGrom get pissed off a few times over the shift where there was supposed to be a guy, I got a ground ball to second base. Oh, he's behind shortstop, but behind second base. That's cool. That's great. So with this rule, 4 infielders must be on the dirt. So, or once the pitcher's on the rubber, infielders cannot switch sides. So the shortstop is no longer going to be able to go on the second base side of second base, or in the crazy ones when they move the third baseman over to the second base side, nuts. If the infielders are not aligned properly at the time of the pitch, the offense can choose an automatic ball or the result of the play.
Wow. Isn't that going to take time to decide?
That's like 12 man on the field.
Isn't that like, well, what do you guys want, ball or? And they're like, well, let's think about it for a minute. No, idiot. This is speeding the game up. Don't give them the opportunity to pick. That's a little weird.
Yeah.
But I hate the shift. I can't stand it.
I hate it. It's irritating and it's annoying. And I get that there are going to be guys that know how to hit, that can effectively hit through the shift, but all batting average, no matter who you are, even if you were Tony Gwynn, all batting average would have been affected by this. I'm not saying Tony Gwynn would have been, a 270 hitter at that point. No, he would still been a 350 hitter.
But the fact that it's true though, these hitters also, how are you not bunting down third? How are you this should have been the thing right away once this analytic fucking shifting started.
Yep.
I would have been practicing every day to hit the ball down. If they're shifting to their hit it down third. Hit it down third. Then they're gonna say, "Oh wait, we can't shift against this guy anymore because he's he's batting 1,000 down the left side now because our third baseman's playing second." Ridiculous. Exactly. They really should have adjusted. So that's a little lazy in part, I think, of the hitters. But yeah, I hate the shift too. So I can't stand the third baseman's playing short or second.
There was never like the mesh of the players being able to successfully navigate the shift. So for example, a lesser pitcher, mediocre to a lesser pitcher, will often have trouble with location. So if you're playing the shift and you're playing, a guy to go the opposite field, and this guy throws a changeup that was supposed to be outside, but now is on the inner part, he's yanking it. You know, he's and that's it. So they don't know how to pitch effectively, or they just don't have the control. And then of course you got the batters who just won't
Yeah,
bunt down the line.
it's so annoying when the second
Hey,
baseman halfway in the outfield, and a guy has a ball there. Oh yeah, you throw him out at first. That drove me insane.
A bullet, they could hit a bullet 110 miles an hour. It's a short right field, which would always be a base hit. And how okay, here's another example that I used in conversation. You know, the typical center field camera that you watch every single baseball game on. The ball hit right back out the middle. You always knew that was a base hit. Now there's, you know, just chill. The easy ground out to shortstop or easy ground out to second baseman.
Or third in some extreme cases. Yeah.
You never hear that was always like a famous call up the middle, a base hit. Here comes whoever.
And up the middle was always like, you know, that's how you know your hitter's on. If he's hitting it up the middle now it's like, now your third baseman's robbing, you know, hits some guys because he's playing second behind second base. I hated it. I really hated it. So I'm good. I'm happy with this one.
All right. Want to talk about a couple of things here. I wanted to hear Dave's opinion on this nonsense with this another NBA owner.
How old is this guy? Do you know how old this guy is right off the bat?
I'm looking at a picture of him. I'm looking at him, but I'm really bad judge of age by looks.
Well, I'll just put it this way.
He's old. He's not as old as he's 60.
Okay, that's different. I'm not defending the Clippers owner back in the day for everything he said, but he was a 95-year-old white dude. Of course, he thought the way he thought.
Yep.
Again, I'm not making an excuse for it. It's not saying it's right, but of course he thought that way. This guy, though, is young enough and grew up in a time where, dude, are you insane? Are you insane? And how do you own a basketball team? It's a predominantly black sport, people. How do you own a professional basketball team and think you're going to get away with shit like that? What an idiot.
You know, and then especially all this other stuff that came out. You know, he owns both the Suns and the WNBA team, the Phoenix Mercury. Stuff against women, stuff against guys, inappropriate touching to guys. I don't know, you know, screaming at people in the hallway in front of people. You just that's not the way you do things. That's not the way you treat your employees. And then so, you know, you mentioned the guy from a few years back. He got a ban. This guy is getting a 1-year suspension and a $10 million fine, which is nickels, dimes to him.
Yeah.
And you know what really pissed me off the most? All these players are coming out saying that the NBA that this punishment's a failure, which I agree on. Just because it's a bad look for your league. This owner is now known for this. And like you said, it's a predominantly black league. On the Mercury side of things, it's all women. And you're doing these things, screaming at people, like I said, misogynistic stuff. I don't know what the inappropriate touching was to the guy's cup check. I don't know. You do it.
What's the capital of Thailand? Bangkok. He's walking around doing that all day. You know, and here's my thing too. What black player would play for him now?
Right.
Like, that's a punishment. If they all were like, no, we're not going to play with you. Now you're stuck with a bunch of Lithuanians. Good luck.
Right.
Good luck winning that title. With
the Clippers, they were going to sit out a playoff game.
Yep.
That's how, like, which I thought that was fine.
Like I said, the Clippers,
that was such cringy stuff the Clippers.
Yeah, again, I'm not defending what he said at all. Yeah. But like I said,
I got you.
100-year-old man.
See how you're raised.
He grew up in an era where all that shit was normal. You know, calling anyone racist, it was just a normal thing to him. Like, yeah, come on. Yep. Anyone watching this show, on our age, you telling me your grandparents never said some shit like that? Yes, they did. Yep. And really, there wasn't like because they were mean or It's just how they talked. It's just what they, but this dude is 60 years old. No, dude, you're in deep shit. If I was, I wouldn't play for him. I'd say good luck next year playing.
Yeah.
They said, you're gonna have a team of Lithuanians fresh off the boat who just playing
That's
in the
it.
gym in front of 5 people. Now that's gonna be your team for the next 5-10 years. Good luck.
Yeah, born in 1962.
He'll sell. He'll sell.
He's. I mean, that was what I was gonna say. The one thing that pissed me off was that he didn't think he thought that this was too harsh.
Jesus.
So now I think in his statement he said something about, while I disagree with the punishment, he apologized to everybody who he hurt. That
Yeah.
what did Chris Rock call the hostage video?
Yeah, the hostage video. Yeah. I am sorry
great.
for all the things I've done. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, all right, I think he got off easy. I don't know if
he's keeping the team, he got off easy.
Oh yeah, it's just a 1-year suspension, $10 million. Fine.
Then he got off easy. And again, I would not play. Maybe next year because he's suspended for a year.
Yeah.
Go out there and do what you got to do for your contract. The following year when he comes back, I'm out. I'm out. I mean, that's what I would do. Teach him a lesson. Hey, real quick before I know, did you see Bill Burr's new special on Netflix?
I haven't watched the whole thing. I'm sure with the clips that I've seen, I'm sure I've watched the whole thing.
When he was talking about the WNBA.
Oh yeah.
Oh yes. My God,
he's spot on. I mean,
he is.
Hate to say it, but
it's true.
It's spot on.
Where's all the feminists flashing your titties up on the upper deck, on the jumbo? You're not there. So why are you blaming us for your league failing? I was like, oh my God, it was. So
and then
great.
Being subsidized by the NBA, they've had it just one, but they've been around for 20 years. So
I know it's sad to say, but I use WNBA as a joke all the time because some people will say like, oh. I had my boss one time say to me, like, did you do this? And I said, yeah, I did it. Well, I didn't see you do it. I said, well, I didn't see a WNBA game. They've been around for 25 years. I've never seen one. It doesn't mean they're not playing. That's how I always use that in the term. Yeah. Just because I didn't see it doesn't mean it didn't happen. I've never seen a game, and they've been around 25 years at least, right? 25?
Yeah, it's 20 or 25. And it's not this is not a discount of the athletes.
No,
because I've seen some
good talent on
incredible highlight reel plays and whatnot. But it's just not it for whatever reason. It's not catching on. It's not. I don't see like ESPN has it all, so you don't see it elsewhere. Like they do a good job, I think, of representing on ESPN, but it's not.
Gilbert, he said it best because he said, even soccer. Soccer, first of all, is a tough get in this country. Period. But now you're going to have women's soccer. Why are you coming? Because that one soccer player came out and went on a lunatic rampage on how it's men's fault. And he's like, no, it's women's fault for not supporting you. Women's sport.
That's not the soccer part. Yeah.
Yeah. Why are you putting it on men? It's not our fault. He said that you should be all in the stands with your flashing, junk and have spray painted on and going crazy, but you don't show up.
DX stuff.
Yeah. Like, why are you blaming us for that? I was like, oh my God, he's so fucking right. It was so great.
Yeah, you can't say like he was legitimately speaking to mostly the business model that is. I mean, when he says it that way, you can't. There's no way to argue.
Stop blaming men. Stop blaming men because no one wants to watch women's soccer. It's women's fault.
I don't even want to watch men's soccer. So it's that nothing personal, ladies.
And they keep bringing up, the salary difference. And he said it best. You don't want to know why? Because 250 people show up to a WNBA game. That's why men get paid more money than women do.
It's the fact. It is, yeah.
So, all right, enough of that. But I just thought it's a great special. Watch Bill Burr, by the way, live at Red Rock. Great play.
Red Rock.
Great show.
I love him. I don't know if you listen to any of his podcast stuff. Sometimes he just rambles on. I stole something from him a couple times. I got annoyed on the Met show. I know that when he gets pissed off and he screams, he turns away from the microphone. So I really like that. It's something that's subtle, but you can tell how loud he's screaming because it's echoing off the walls. It's not like in your face on the microphone.
It's great. He's great.
So yeah. All right. So where are we at? Something that I didn't put on the sheet here, but the Brett Favre thing. Have you caught up?
I don't even know. I don't even know what's going on. But a book came out, and then Brett Favre is evil all of a sudden, and right.
Well,
I don't know all the details. I just heard about this. Today.
He's you son of a bitch made a play at the wall.
Stop watching the game during the show. I'm watching Rocky 3 here, not the Yankees. I'm watching Rocky 3 so I don't yell at the screen. Well, I'll yell at Rocky in a minute.
So, all right, so this whole thing with Brett Favre, and then we'll get into the NFL stuff. But the whole thing with Brett Favre, on top of all the pictures that he sent to females over the years, but now this whole Mississippi welfare scandal.
He was getting welfare or something?
Well, he got welfare funds to do some volleyball, build some volleyball. Was it a building or he was seeking millions of dollars in grants that ultimately came from Mississippi Welfare Agency. So so the people who have been caught already would not. It said that Brett Favre had nothing to do with it, right? But now there's text messages.
Oh, fucking
now there's text messages.
When are people gonna learn? Delete your shit, man.
Very bad, very bad. So it goes into the whole thing that Mississippi is the poorest state in the United States. 200,000 children living below the poverty line, and text messages started going back and forth about this volleyball deal. They uncovered, I guess there were in total $77 million in misspent funds, but that's across 38 defendants. Brett Favre is about $1 million. What was going to be more? What was going to be up to about $4 million or so. But the text messages are really going to really going to screw him over here. Like he's talking about, getting like $4 million over payments of $500,000, and he came up with, just so that it wouldn't look odd, he came up with he'll do a couple of spots, a couple of radio spots, a couple of promotional spots, so that'll be for the payment. When he got another batch of the money in December of that year, he was texting "Christmas came early." We got our money. There was one thing communicated, new text message. Biggest concern is time commitment. So he wanted the money, but didn't want to do too many events.
Don't we all?
Right, yeah. And then here's where it gets really bad. At one point, Favre gets worried that the payment to him from the state will become public. Quote, "If you were to pay me, is there any way the media can find out where it came from?" That's it. You're screwed. That's it. Done. The response was, "No, we never have had that information publicized. I understand you being uneasy about that, though." And then they talk about being on board. He's all good. And then they were gonna they agreed to have another $1.8 million covered.
Poor Brett.
So Brett screwed Brett.
Brett screwed Brett, all right.
Fucking Mets just got swept by the fucking end. This fucking douchebag has a stupid W at Citi Field.
Take a breath. Take a breath.
Breath. Take a sip.
Take a gulp. Take a gulp to make sure. Calm your nerves a bit.
Well, at least the Braves fucking lost.
There you go. There you go.
Just all right. I brought myself back in real quick.
Silver lining. Silver lining. Gotta look for that silver lining.
All right. So first things first, Tim. fucking how much money does this guy make over his career? He needs $1 million to do this thing. Can't come out of pocket. Is willing to risk. Like this is FBI stuff now. Like he was interviewed by the FBI, and there's more to come on this. This could get nasty.
I mean, he could have used his Jets money for this, just the Jets.
It's right.
I don't know, man. Some people are just so stupid. And I really liked Favre. Like I was really a big Favre guy. Well, I was a big Favre guy. Yeah, he was he's probably my favorite non-Giant player for a long time, Brett Favre. I don't care about the picture thing. That's just him being a pervert.
Yeah, but that's stupid.
But this, yeah. Oh, the welfare funds. Oh my God. Yeah, he's in a lot of shit now.
200,000 kids, Tim.
Below the poverty. In the poorest state in the country, that's going to go real well.
Oh man,
I feel bad. I mean, I feel bad for him, but I don't.
But how dumb? Like, how many mistakes are you gonna make? Like, at least he asked.
With the phone again, too. With the phone again, Brett. Stop using the phone, dude. Stop.
Well, all right. So can I just don't understand. Hey, we talk about celebrities being stupid all the time, but I mean, can he go and sue this people that said no, don't worry, but all this information is confidential?
No, he got nothing. As soon as you hear welfare, you're done, dude. He's in a lot of deep shit now.
All right,
Brett screwed Brett. They should just play that over and over again.
This time I agree. All right, let's get into football. I guess Dave ain't coming. Dave ain't coming. All right, before we get,
why? Because he's going to pick the East over the Giants. He didn't want to come.
I don't even have his picks yet. You haven't even said his picks in yet. Better not pick the East. He better not pick the Panthers. Not because it's the East. It just shows that he likes this guy better. So all right. So our picks from last week, standings for this show, 10 and now we can hear about what was going on Sunday. I finished 10-6. Dave finished 9-7, and Timmy, you finished 8-8.
Bad. That's my worst first week so far since we've been doing this. No, but I was saying I'm watching all the games. I got the package on. I'm watching all the games. I was like, you know what? I want to jump in the shower before the Giants come on. So all my picks were losing, completely getting blown out. The Colts were getting blown out. The whoever else was getting there's 4 games, all getting blown out. I go in the shower. I come out. Oh, this one's tied. This one's tied. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm back in this shit. That's 4 more wins. I'm like, that's 4 more wins I can get right now. And only one team pulled it out, which was the Saints. I was like, son of a, but I was so close. I was going to hop back in the shower and not come out until the game was over. Maybe there's something magical about my shower that brought me back to that game. But 4 games. I have all 4 games on the screen. I'm going, all 4 of my picks have come back, and they could all win, and I could complete. I'd have 12 wins right now. You think about it. Oh, no, 11, because the Saints did win. But I would have had 3 more wins. Yeah. 3 more wins I would have had. Son of a bitch.
Happened to the Falcons again, huh? they did it again.
Yeah, they just be used to it by now. If I'm a Falcons fan and we're up 35-0 in the 4th, I'm like, nope, not over.
No way.
It's not over yet. It's not over yet.
Never over. All right, so we're gonna do a new segment here called the Pick Six, but we can figure out our way through this. Let's talk about some of the games from last week. We can alternate here. But I guess the game of the week here, from a back and forth and just drama type deal, would have been the Steelers and the Bengals for me.
That's one of my games.
How in the world? Oh, Jeremiah, what? Timmy, you
Jared, that was a blowout. There's no reason to talk about that game. That was a blowout.
That was just because, it's a
blowout.
That was pretty bad. Mr. Stafford. I don't know about that off-season surgery. But that's Steelers and the Bengals. Expectations here were that this was going to be a nice Bengals victory. And somehow, even with 5 turnovers from Joe Burrow, They wound up getting it to overtime, last second touchdown to Chase. And then inexplicably, the Steelers win the damn game. Let's
I
go,
get,
Mitch
not
Trubisky.
only did I pick the Bengals to win, but guess who has Joe Burrow as his quarterback in one of his leagues?
but but he didn't wind up with bad fantasy numbers.
No, he didn't because of the touchdowns. He came back. Yeah,
Yes, yeah, a couple touchdowns towards the end. But this is one of the wacky things, not in your wildest dreams do you think Trubisky's going to come out. Najee Harris is out. He gets hurt. T. Higgins gets hurt on the Bengals side, so kind of matching that up a little bit.
TJ Watt's out now.
TJ Watt, but he got some good news today that he won't need the surgery. So that's
6 weeks. 6 weeks.
6 weeks. And you can read his lips just like you could read Dak is whack. When he said I broke it, he said I tore it. But luckily for him, it's not the type of injury that'll keep him out for the season. So is it a statement early? I don't know, with Mitch Trubisky as your quarterback, how far you're going to go. But
it's week one.
Najee Harris, exactly. Najee Harris is okay. He's going to continue to play. I know he had that the ankle thing, but he should be okay to play this week. But it's a divisional game, and so I you kind of throw away a lot of these games. But I'll pass it over to you. What's one of the games that you want to bring up here?
Yeah, let's go with the Colts because the Colts were high on my list of playoff contender. I thought really Matt Ryan was going to make a huge, massive difference, and even though they came back, they still look like complete crap. I mean, that whole first half was just like, whoa, where did this team come from? So now we don't know who the Colts are. Are they that first half team? Or are they the second half team? And why do we still have ties? We're going to talk about ties, right? Are we going to talk about that? We'll talk about the ties in a second.
Yeah.
Dumb. We almost had 2 games.
Let's do it. Yeah.
We almost had 2 games finished with 20-20 ties. And I would have. Well, forget it. How did we judge that, by the way? Are those losses for us? I don't know how those
I gave wins to everybody.
Okay.
This is, we're we don't take losses here.
Okay,
but okay, so let's go with the tie. I couldn't have said it better than what you said in the chat. $1 billion industry, you can't let games end in a tie. And I know that they've made the adjustment in the playoffs, but the regular season game has an impact on the playoffs. In the NFL, even week 1 could potentially have an impact on the playoff. You lose wasn't a couple of years ago. The Steelers got to the playoffs because they tied.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, they were like 8-8 or 8-7-1 or something like that, or whatever the case was. But that shit's got to go.
It's got to go. Hockey has shootouts. As much as we hate the spinner on second base, baseball does have that at the moment, which won't be around next year, right? That's gone.
No.
Basketball,
and not for the playoffs either.
Basketball, you play till you die. 8 quarters, 25
and
quarters.
They do.
You play until you die. That's how it should be. And if you don't want to have another quarter, dude, kick field goals. I mean, that shit can be quick. You put one team on one side, well, if the wind might be a problem with that.
Right.
But you put one
do the
team
coin
on one
flip.
side.
That's the coin flip, and that's where you kick.
Exactly. One team's on one side. Kick. Good. You guys kick. Good. Go back and first one that misses, you lose.
Yeah. No, sorry, I don't want to mention coin flips with
dude, have sack races.
Watching.
Have sack races from the 50 to the goal line. I don't care what you do. You can't have
sack races
ties.
Only with linemen. Only with offensive linemen.
Your fattest lineman has to do a sack race from the 50-yard line into the end zone. Now listen, how great would that be? Your hugest guy has to do it.
That's good TV.
That's great TV. That is great TV.
But
ties gotta stop. It's got to stop.
The ties have to. That's awful. It's a professional sports, guys.
Nobody wants to kiss their sister, so.
All right. The other one that I kind of there's a couple more that I wanted to go through, but Here's one that was pretty much a crappy game. This is not a great game, but I want to mention it for a couple of reasons, and that's the 49ers and the Bears.
Fucking
You
caught.
got
Everybody lost that game, right? Anybody actually picked the Bears?
uh 49ers. Nobody picked the Bears.
Okay, good. I was mad
Everybody
about that
lost the
game.
40.
I was mad about that game.
Everybody lost. So, yeah, terrible. But the weather conditions. Look, I have, no matter what you want to say about Trey Lance and whatnot, you can't judge Trey Lance on this game. Already the
No.
49ers fans are wanting Garoppolo to be back in there. You can't judge it. There was like 30-mile-an-hour winds. It was pouring. It was like a giant splish splash pad. There's doing like 20 foot long slides down there. People are fumbling the ball all over. They can't handle the snaps. So 49ers fans, and if you've got Trey Lance in fantasy, relax for a little bit. That it was the worst possible scenario. That's the type of games that bad teams somehow pull off, and that's why I think the Bears came out on top. And that's just that's not a professional football field.
No.
So,
No.
And they just redid it. It's not a professional football field.
I picked the 49ers to win the NFC. I did. To play to lose to the Bills in the Super Bowl. And I still stick by that because I think Lance is going to be fine, like you said. It might take 2-3 games.
Yeah.
Just really get into that rhythm with this new quarterback. I don't care how much practice you have. When you get a new quarterback like that, you still got to find that rhythm. You got to get that confidence. You got all that shit. They'll be fine. Stop panicking, 49ers fans. I still picking them to win the NFC. They're my shock pick, my upset pick. So.
And by the way, he didn't have George Kittle.
Yep.
Mitchell got hurt. Their running back, who's now out for 2 months.
Mm-hmm.
But then the 49ers at that position, at least, they always find a way to just plug it in. It's like the Rays. This time, though, that they have Jeff Wilson, they have Debo, who can run out of the backfield. So, and then they have Trey Lance, who's a runner at the quarterback position. So don't necessarily feel bad for them in that aspect. Timmy, you're up. Which other one?
Let's talk about the Cowboys and the Bucs.
Yes.
Who doesn't want to talk about this game? Look, even before Dak went out, and I know we talk a lot of shit, especially to Kyle and stuff, but they look horrible.
Yeah,
horrible. And that's why I don't have them making the playoffs even before the game started. I just don't think they have it. Zeke is a one-hit wonder. I don't care what anybody says right now. They have a better running back on the team who should be starting, and that's Pollard. Absolutely. I'm more afraid of Pollard than I am of Zeke. I just am. And now he's got a full face mask because no one wants to see his stupid face anymore. So he has the whole face shield now. Yeah. So, but I mean, Tampa Bay's defense was, thank you. I have both my fan teams have Tampa Bay defense, so thank you for that.
Nice. Very nice.
And on the other side of it, I'm going to make a bold prediction. Well, not really bold, but Tom Brady's done after this year. Done. Mentally, I think he's already done. I got to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I think he's like, shit, I never should have came back. And he doesn't want to leave this team hanging. So he's going to fight it out for the rest of the year, but he's done. This is his last year. No coming back. Well, all right, let me put it this way. He's not going to be on the Bucs next year. If he finds some other miracle team to go to next year, maybe. But other than that, he ain't playing for the Bucs next year. He doesn't look himself. He doesn't look like he wants to play. Again, the rumors of him singing on The Masked Singer, going to the Bahamas, him and Giselle are having some kind of epic battle because she did not want him to play this year. This could all be true, and this could all be fake. Either way, my bold prediction is this is Brady's last year with the Bucs. Whether the 49ers or some miracle team pick him up next year, I don't know. But he's done with the Bucs. And
I think
Cowboys are done for the year. And
hell yeah.
I don't care. It's a happy time. But they just look like complete. I love seeing Jerry Jones miserable. I really do. It's one of my joys in life.
And I love the shots up into the booth when he is miserable.
And like I said, it's not talking shit just because we're a Giants fan. Dak can be a good quarterback, but he's not that guy. They have a better running back on the team. They have a better defense. They have a better offense. They have a better defense. They have a better quarterback. They have a better quarterback. They have a better defense. They have a better offense. They have a better defense. They have a better offense. They have a better defense. They have a better offense. They have a better defense. They have a better offense. They have a better defense. They have a better offense. They have a better defense. They have a better offense. 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 They have a better offen Zeke is not that guy. You gave him billions of dollars between the two of them, and they're not worth the goddamn money they
Yeah.
got. And now you're stuck with the two of them. Good riddance.
Good for them. Good for
Good
them.
riddance. And half your teams are hurt. The other half's in jail. I mean, I feel bad for Micah Parsons. That dude is
Yeah,
a diamond in the rough. He's my defensive prediction player of the year this year. That guy's a beast. He is a beast, and will forever be upset the Giants didn't pick him because of some stupid rumor in college. They should have picked him. Yeah, he's the only one on that team really that I'd be even worried about. And Diggs, I don't think Diggs is going to have a good year this year. Not that he's a one-hit wonder, but he ain't going to get,
he's what he had what he 11 was that 11 interceptions?
Yeah, he ain't getting no 11 this year.
That's like a holy shit season. Like
Yeah.
How the hell like that doesn't happen. Right before we went on air, NBC New York News reported this, and it is fantastic the way that they did this. This is so it's a story about Gisele Bündchen. The title is Gisele Bündchen says she's done her part in Tom Brady marriage. But in the part of the tweet that they tweeted out, here's what they wrote. Gisele Bündchen candidly revealed the sacrifices she has made for her husband Tom Brady, who lost 2 Super Bowls to the New York Giants.
That is so great.
Not like greatest quarterback ever, or just end it there. Lost
New York
2 Super Bowls
media,
to the New York Giants.
New York
Love it.
media, they got to do
Love
it that
it.
way. That's pretty funny.
Love it. Yeah, I don't see either. Tom Brady's not coming back to the NFL next year, or he's not married next year.
Listen, if that's true, and I'm not a big Gisele Bündchen guy either. I think there's better looking women out there. I'm not big on her, but if this is his marriage, he might walk away. He can walk away anytime now. And then who's quarterback in the goddamn Bucks? Jimmy Garoppolo, probably.
or is Jimmy Garoppolo? Depending on what happens, do the Cowboys get desperate and do they trade for Jimmy Garoppolo and then have Jimmy G and Dak? But I mean, so today Jerry Jones came out and he says, yeah, I know what they said, 6 to 8 weeks, but we're thinking more 4 weeks. What?
All right, so you're 0-5. Let's just say you're 0-5. I'm not saying you are, because they can still beat the Giants because the Giants have that kind of luck. And
yes. And we did lose to,
and we love to lose to them every year. So, but I'm just saying, yeah, we did. We've lost to Cooper Rush before. So.
Cooper Rush.
But okay, but let's say you're 1-4 after 5 games, and he comes back. Is he going to be in football shape? No. Is he going to be rusty? Yes. Can you make the playoffs after that? No. So if you're going to make a move, you got to make it now.
So, and this is this is what I think is the reason here. So if you take week 1 and he says it's going to be 4 weeks, so now a potential return in week 5, right? So you're down. You already lost to the Bucks. Next week you're going. You are at home against the Bengals, who are coming off probably going to be a little pissed off at that loss. Then to the Giants, who you watch that first game, you see some improvements there. And with Cooper Rush in there, you just don't know. Then they have the Commanders at home, and then in week 5, when Jerry Jones wants Dak Prescott to come back, they are at the Rams, and then the following week at the Eagles. So when you look at the schedule, no surprise that Jerry Jones wants Dak back in week 5. But I mean, when did he get his PhD? It's like,
I want to be thin. It's just it's not in the cards at the moment. You can't get you want just because you're a millionaire. You can't get what you want, or a billionaire. Excuse me, Jerry. You can't just snap your fingers this time. So,
all right.
Whatever.
My last one is that Monday night game, Broncos Seahawks, and I don't know how you let Geno Smith beat you like that. Like, he wasn't making any mistakes. It wasn't who the hell is this Geno Smith?
Did you Collinsworth was gushing over Geno. I'm like, dude, if he's gushing over Geno Smith, this isn't good.
It's like he could do no wrong. He would go back and he'd be under pressure and he'd scramble like he was a good running quarterback, and then be accurate. Like, and then what was that comment that he made? They tried to write me off, but I closed the book or something like that.
Oh, please give me a break. We'll see next week when he's 1-1 and he gets his ass kicked. Give me a break. Geno Smith.
Yes, I did. So
all he is the answer to a Giants trivia question. That's all he is.
Stupid douchebag. Denver plays for 64-yard kick. The coach comes out today playing money. Well, so we're up to Wednesday now, but quarterback and saying, yeah, we probably should have gone for it.
Yeah, you go out and you get Russell Wilson to the risk of 64-yard field goal. Moron.
I don't remember who said it today, but they said, did you give $200 million to your kicker?
Yeah, exactly. This is like Seattle. Do we run the ball in with Lynch from the 2, or do we try a stupid pass?
Stupid. Yeah, Jeremiah, I did see that. So the Commanders are selling the merchandise with the W and the Washington State in the background.
Washington State.
They're used it. It's the wrong logo.
Okay. They can't do that. But nothing surprises me though. Nothing that they do surprises me.
That team can't do anything right.
No. They're completely they're the worst owner, the worst team, forget it.
Somebody said he's the worst owner in all of sports right now. And I said, I will see you that. And I will raise you a James Dolan.
I will raise you Madison Square Garden because that guy sucks.
All right. One more. Pass it back to you. That'll complete our pick 6. And then we'll get into some goodness of week 2.
Well, you know what? Let's just throw about the Vikings and the Packers because this was a shocker. But I can't believe
I had the Vikings.
I almost said Brett Favre too. I can't believe Aaron Rodgers is as crazy as he is now because I didn't know he was into like spiritualism and yoga and he's all fucking playing sitar music and all that crazy shit. It's like, dude, how'd you go nuts?
And at the same time calling out his wide receiver staff several times in front of the media.
But he threw some passes that should have been caught.
The one right in his hands.
I mean,
we used to call that hands like feet. If somebody drops a pass
you never call them out in the media. But in that locker room, I'd be like, what the fuck, dude? You guys better go into practice this week and show me something because that was bad. That was Kenny Galladay.
Did you see his face after that? He looked at the sidelines like, I fucking told you.
Yeah, that's his problem. He's a douchebag when it comes to he runs Green Bay.
Yeah.
That coach don't run that team.
No way.
He is the guy. So forget it.
Well, they pay. I mean, but at the same time, he went out and got his money, and then knew that was going to cost Devontae Adams. So I mean,
they figure you draft a guy, he's going to be great. Yeah, he was great. He great at dropping that pass that was put right into his breadbasket.
That was awful. Like I don't even want to even look at how do you even look at Aaron Rodgers after that? It's like you don't want to make eye contact.
You could have told me Geno Smith's gonna have a better week than Aaron Rodgers. I would have laughed in your face.
Geno, man, I don't understand it. All right. Let's get into the world famous week 2 picks.
Time to rebound.
What a fantastic Thursday night game we got this week. It is. I gotta keep on scrolling and I can't get to it. All right. This is first up. The Chargers, who looked really good last week, against the Chiefs, who looked really good last week. In Kansas City, the Chiefs are a 4-point favorite here. We'll start off with you on this one.
See now, this is one of the games I was talking about.
There's a lot of them.
There are actually. I think 90% of these games I picked because of the home team. Like I'm picking the Chiefs just because they're at home. But this is a super evenly matched game. I think this to be a real good game.
Yep.
But I kind of want to. I might have to change this game before Sunday. I am on the fence. I am so on the
Thursday.
fence.
This is the Thursday game. This is
Oh,
tomorrow's
that's
game.
right. I might have to change it before Thursday. That's both tomorrow. No. I'm gonna stick with it. I'm gonna stick with the Chiefs because they're the home team, and that's the only reason I'm picking them is because they're the home team. And the Chargers are a little suspect away from. Well, then again, they don't even have a home, so but they're a little
They
suspect.
do not have a home. They
But
don't have and have the Chargers. I know that the Chargers are. I think they're going to go far this year. But have the Chargers proven that they can not screw up
no,
yet? I know that they won last week, but it was against the Raiders. Let's see. Let's see. Because the Chargers, no matter who their quarterback has been over the years, and it's mostly the guy with 25 kids, but but they have been known to find creative ways to lose games and whatnot.
yeah. Well, I'll stick with the Chiefs at home then.
Yeah, I'm with you on this one. Man, they lost the cheetah, and this guy throws 5 touchdowns, and a little underhand action here. I sometimes it like that kind of play would kind of drive me crazy sometimes if I was a fan of the team because it's like nerve wracking. Okay, I'm just gonna do this little underhand hook. All right, wait, it worked out that time.
If it works, it works. It works, so it doesn't work.
Yes. And with Andy Reid, he keeps on doing it. It doesn't matter if it stops for a second or whatnot. All right, so I got the Chiefs in that one. Let's head to Sunday. Our first game on the slate for Sunday is the Dolphins, who looked really good last week. Not saying that Tua looked great. I don't know if you saw the very first. Was it the first pass that he threw? And the cheetah was wide open, and he threw a duck like in the middle. Nobody was near him. But Baltimore is a 3.5-point favorite here. They took care of the Jets, even though the Jets' defense looked a little bit better than I thought it was going to be. I will take this one first. I got the Ravens. I can't trust Tua. His throws are ugly. And Tyreek, I don't know what you were on when you said it, that he was more accurate than Mahomes, but let's just admit you were on something.
Definitely. Yeah, I'm
but
going with
I
the Ravens
also.
also. Yeah, I'm going with the Ravens too because I mean, if they were in Miami, I might pick the Dolphins, but I'm going with that home team for this one. And yeah, the Ravens still, they might. I forget the kid's name already. That receiver they got, I forget his name.
Bateman,
but he might be legit. It might be down to like 75% offense for Lamar Jackson this year instead of 85. And so we'll get some help.
They brought in. It's like the same thing. They brought in a couple of backs that older backs, and they weren't involved in anything.
They're there because you have to have a running back. That's it. They're not there for anything else. So I like the Ravens.
Yeah. All right. And I got the Ravens too here. So we're 2 for 2 on agreeing here. Next up, the former team of the East, 6-point favorite in Cleveland to play the Jets. What you got here, Timmy?
Again, I went with the home team, the Browns. I wish Churchill was here to hear me say this. Even though the defense, I think the Jets are literally a good quarterback away from contending for the AFC. I really do. But that quarterback spot, I mean, when you throw Joe Flacco out there,
oh my God,
you ain't winning. I'm sorry. I mean, I don't think this other kid's going to work out either. But I think they're a legitimate quarterback away from being a contender, and that's.
Are you talking about Zach Wilson?
Zach Wilson, yeah, but I don't know how good. We can't judge him yet.
That other guy played well. I know that's not a name or a top pick, but who is it? Mike White.
Mike White, yeah.
That they were
they were cheering for him. They were cheering for him. When Flacco threw an interception, they were saying, "We want White," or "We want Mike," or whatever the hell they were saying. But I mean, I think the Jets are literally a quarter. I think I like the running back, the rookie. Their defense is always pretty good. It's just they need that quarterback, man. Someone to throw the goddamn ball. But that's why I'm going with the Browns anyway. I think the Jets are going to have another miserable year.
I'm going with the Browns too. I can't have any faith in Joe Flacco going on the road and
exactly
and
Cleveland looked pretty good. Cleveland did look good.
Yep. I can say nice things about Cleveland now.
Now that your man's
uh,
gone.
yes. All right. Next up, the Washington Commanders at the Detroit Lions, and ladies and gentlemen, for the first time in 24 games, the Detroit Lions are favored in a football game by 2 points against the Commanders, and that's with I put a column up about one thing about each team, and Wentz, yeah, he got the job done, but in the same game he looked like shit and he looked pretty good at the same time, and you never know what you're gonna get. And I think the whole country is rooting for the Lions to do well this year because of the underdog thing, because of the all the coaches are old players, and
Hard
because of Hard
Knocks.
Knocks.
Yeah.
Yeah, that really pushes buttons for people.
I'm one of
But
them. I am. I'm one of them.
I I like it, and the elf logo is back. Jeremiah says in Cleveland. Oh boy, that thing at midfield, weird, creepy little elf looking thing. All right, who you is this you or me that starts off on this one? Who you got in this one? Is that me?
I am going with the Lions. I am going with the Lions to get their first win. They are my sixth or those seventh playoff pick spot. They're going to sneak in
Seventh
there and get
spot.
that last spot. I'm digging them. I think they're going to be a good team. They fought back last week. They almost won that freaking game.
Yep.
And on the other hand, Washington really tried to lose that game. So I think the Lions are going to come out hot. I think they're going to win. Carson Wentz is fragile and suspect and clown shoes and all those other words. So
Yeah, a
I'm
lot of
going
stuff
with
going on there.
I'm going with that.
Yeah, I can't remember the last time I picked the Lions to win a game, but I'm going with the Lions here also. I like their running back situation. I'm on St. Brown. I'm Raw St. Brown.
He did good for me.
It's part of the St. Brown brothers that
Mhm.
scored touchdowns in their first games within like a few minutes apart. Um, and say what you will about Goff, but he just has to be the general to not make mistakes. Like I've said about Ryan Tannehill, just make mistake free football. You've got two great running backs, a pass game and in the run game. So rely on them and just don't make mistakes. And
I
the
agree.
Lions could win a few games this year. Make it the oh my god! Imagine Detroit if the Lions make the playoffs. Yeah.
Nice. I like it. Slim Shady's gonna write a new song.
So yes.
Hey, real quick,
uh,
not to go
yeah.
backwards, but there's my other niece. She was at the game tonight.
Ah, sorry she got disappointed. Did she fall asleep?
No,
She
she looked
probably
like she
fell
was
asleep.
wide
You
awake.
always see all these kids like sleeping by like the seventh, eighth
Yeah.
inning.
No,
Nice.
she's a bit of a wild card, so I bet she was up the whole time.
Man, wish we could have gotten a win for her next time. All right, Colts, Jags, Indianapolis are 4-point favorite going into Jacksonville. Um, but based on what I saw last week, I'm going with Jacksonville this week. They're feisty. Somebody on the network is out there that calls their quarterback a fraud. But
A bust. He's also a
a
bust.
bust. But sorry, those are the two words he uses the most. But with their their running game is just fine, and they brought on what's his name from Arizona, and I figured they paid that guy. He's going to be force fed, and it wasn't even that much of a force feeding. He went
Yeah.
out for what was 80 some odd yards, and it was a back and forth battle, and the Commanders just made a couple of plays that the Jags couldn't get done. But this time, I think at home, they want to prove that Urban Meyer's out of there. This douchebag, let's go win the home opener for the new coach and who's the former douchey Eagle coach. But all that to say, I got the Jags.
I too had the Jaguars winning this game, and that's shocking because, like I said, I was big on the Colts, but they look like complete shit. And like I said, this is another Jaguars home game. If they were in Indy, I probably would have went Indy, but they're in Jacksonville. I'm gonna go Jaguars.
See, and then of course I was thinking I was going back and forth here. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go with the Jags because they're home. They're the fans are gonna be out of control. I hope for their sake. They're feisty. But then I was like, but then Jonathan Taylor could just go off for 200 yards and just ruin them. So
Yep, that's true.
you just don't know. All right, next up on the slate, the Bucks and the Saints. The Saints have won 4 straight against the Brady-led Bucks, who is, he's all of a sudden he's got a fear of commitment. And I didn't know that show that he has is on Mad Dog Radio. Mad Dog is swimming in the cash, I think. I feel.
Oh yeah.
It's like,
oh yeah.
Pat McAfee also. Jeez, Mad Dog Radio. I didn't see his debut on game day.
No, me neither. I didn't get a chance to see it.
Game day.
I'm already
All right.
depressed about college football. I don't want to talk about it.
Notre Dame.
Yeah, they're 0-2 in college football. That means see you next year.
That's a death sentence.
That's see you next year. So,
well, not next year when they go to the 12 team playoff. Then you can finally lose a game or maybe 2.
Yeah, it's college. You lose. It's 0-2, and plus a big loss to Marshall of all teams.
Yeah,
done. They're done. They'll never step the top 10 again.
You and Ashley. All right, Bucks Saints. On paper, you kind of think that if it's Brady against Winston, you're picking Brady here. But the Saints have won 4 straight against them, and the Bucks are a 3-point favorite here. Who you got in this one?
I'm actually going with the Saints. I'm actually going with them. Punch me Monday morning. I don't know, but I don't know. I have a feeling. I said Brady did not look Brady-esque at all. So yeah, I'm going to go with the Saints.
He did not look Brady-esque. He admitted that he was
that defense is ridiculous, but I don't know. I kind of like the Saints.
Yeah, he said that he's got bruises all over his arms, cuts and scrapes, and at that age, it's probably a lot harder to do than it was 20 years ago.
Definitely.
Godwin is going to be out. He had the ACL. Now he's got a hamstring situation. And then when it comes to the Saints, if Michael Thomas is going to look like that, the Saints are going to be trouble for some teams this year. You still got Kamara. I don't know what's going on with the legal issues, but Jameis Winston has always been a capable quarter. He's always been capable of throwing touchdowns as well as the interceptions. But if he can take a step forward and not make as many mistakes, and you get Michael Thomas there, Saints can be a dangerous team. And I think that they continue their dominance over Brady, and they win their 5th straight.
Nice. We're agreeing on everything so far. So we're going down together. We're going down together, or we're going to the top together, which we'll see which one.
All right, next up. This is the one where we really wanted to see what Dave was going to choose here because he's a big fan of Baker Mayfield, and he's a Giants fan. Now, the Giants are favored in this game, Timmy. 2.5 points against the Panthers. I really liked. I mean, how could I not say that I didn't like what I saw out of Saquon, the NFC offensive player of the week? Daniel Jones fumble that really, 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 really pissed me off because.
But the rookie guard, the one who got beat, he got blown away.
He did on that, but it didn't piss me off because he fumbled. It pissed me off because that's what the spotlight is on him about.
Yeah,
and it was like, oh boy, here we go. Here we go. And Dave has been very critical, very, very, very critical of Mr. Jones.
Well, guess what? Baker Mayfield would have fumbled too.
Yeah,
the guard got destroyed. He's a rookie too. He got blown away by the defender. Nothing you could do.
And it was one of the. I mean, I don't want to say few because there were some, and we'll go through it. We stomped you out. Hopefully, we can get that done tomorrow. But it was a lot less mistakes than we're used to seeing from the Giants. So
that's the problem. He fumbled again, and made one really bad interception because the interception is inexcusable. Because you could ask. I was sitting here watching the game, and I'll talk about it tomorrow too. And I'm going, he's going to throw it to Saquon. He's going to throw it. And even the wife said, "Why? How do you say that?" Because he fucking watched him from the time he went. He just stared at him like this. Get open. Get open. I'm gonna throw the ball.
Not even a quick
You-
look off.
No, not even. He
Nothing.
didn't look anywhere else. That's why I knew right away that guy's gonna be intercepted because he followed Saquon all the way into the end zone.
Yeah,
So
it was
that was a
awful.
huge mistake. But again, I don't think he played that bad. It wasn't as
No,
bad as everyone makes him out to be.
it's
So
just that the fumble especially is just amplified because that's the problem. That was his problem. But if you're gonna be that way judgmental against the quarterback, you gotta give him credit where credit is due.
mhm.
And he hooked up with Shepard on that long 65-yard touchdown. Helped drive the team back from down 13-0 at the half, and et cetera, et cetera. I liked a lot more than I didn't like in this game, and of what I saw with Carolina, I think the Giants can dare I say, go 2-0 here, and win at home against the Panthers.
Yeah, when we did our picks on the stomped you out, I had them at 0-2. I am now going to have them at 2-0.
Isn't that great?
It's so weird. And I think because, like I said, I think Carolina has a lot of issues. Um, Baker is a crybaby. He gets frustrated way too easy. So if
Yep,
we can just get to him, by the way, our pass rush was non-existent again, which
yep.
really pissed me off. But we'll talk about that tomorrow. Um, but if they can get in his face and just get him out of his game, plus it's a home opener, our first, Dable's first game after he showed the hugest set of balls ever.
Oh my
I think
god!
I think the momentum in the crowd is finally going to be in it. Giants are going to be 2-0.
I mean, when you look at the Giants' play calling over the last, I mean, even in the Coughlin days, there wasn't a lot of deep passes, and the Giants were never known as being aggressive. Giants would never, and Jericho ever go for two for the win at the at the end.
Never in a million years.
And I'm down here in South Florida, so I watch it differently. So I'm a little bit behind. So I didn't want anybody saying words. I chucked my phone to the other side of the couch. So I'm like, I don't want to see nothing what's going on. And man, that was ballsy. The dancing in the locker room. I know, a couple of people out there that might not have liked that, but I like it.
Cares.
He's just dancing around with the team. This team needs to have some positives over the last X amount of years. And here you got this guy who's coming from nothing but positives up in
Hmm.
Buffalo, and he's making an impact, and they're happy about it. So all right, so we both have the Giants here. Next up is the Patriots, who just looked awful against the Dolphins. I don't know if it was that they truly suck. I don't know if it was because it was 110 degrees on the field, but they just didn't do it. And I don't know, Mac Jones. First they said he broke his back, and now there's no break. I don't even know what the hell's going on. I don't know who the backup is. Did they trade for Jimmy G? Uh,
Everyone's trading for Jimmy
I'm
G
sorry.
after week one.
But they head to Pittsburgh to play the Steelers. New England. I'm a little surprised at this, that New England's a 1.5-point favorite, especially after what I saw last week. Yeah, maybe the Steelers. Maybe they're saying that they're questionable with Najee Harris, but they say he's playing, and they have a full complement of wide receivers, Pickens and Claypool and Mr. Reliable, Deontay Johnson. So I see the Steelers winning this game. I don't, and it might, and if Mac Jones is out, I don't, like I said, who's throwing this might not even be particularly close.
Yeah, even with Watt out, that defense was ridiculous last week
Yeah.
against a way better team than the Patriots. So I also like the Steelers at home.
Yeah, I mean, they turned Joe Burrow over 5 times. I'm not saying Joe Burrow is a top 5 guy, but Joe Burrow is a top 10 quarterback in the
Yeah,
league, and he took his team to the freaking Super Bowl, and nobody expected it, and they were still able to hold him down. So look at this. We're agreeing again here. This is moving right along here. The Falcons at the Rams. This
Rams.
is the ding dong. So the
Ram Ding Dong, baby.
10 and a
And
half point favorite.
I won't
Falcons are
play.
just
I will not play the song until they win their first game. Then I'll play it.
yeah. That'll be the if they lose to the Falcons at home,
They're
then
in a lot of
I don't
trouble.
I don't even know what to do.
You know, not for nothing. And then, of course, obviously, you can't judge by what the game Madden does. But in the same year, same schedule, the Rams finished 2 wins only.
Oh boy,
And I'm like, what happened to this team in this game? I was like, what the hell is going on here?
did Cup
And
tear his ACL or something?
and they've sucked every. I'm in my third year of my franchise. They've sucked every single year. I'm like, wow, this is Super Bowl hangover,
Is it,
big time. But this game, yeah, they're not going to lose to the fucking Falcons.
no
at
way,
home. No way.
no.
Super Bowl ring party. Well, they had that last week. They were home last week too.
Yeah,
All right, so forget that. But they're still not going to win. Not going to win to the Falcons. No way.
but what the hell? Cam Akers
Who?
exactly if from a people. I mean, people started him in there in obviously, and he played
yeah.
three snaps.
Yep.
And I drafted his backup. I can't think of his name. And now he's a starter. So we'll see. I mean, geez, if Cam Akers can't, what a bust, man. That's a bust. A bust.
It's true.
All right. Next up, Seattle. Seattle coming off their high of beating Russell Wilson on Monday night. This is showing that the Vegas still has a lot of confidence in Trey Lance, and it's in San Francisco. It's probably going to be good weather. This is where we can start judging a Trey Lance, and especially if he gets George Kittle back. You get because that's your safety net as a running young quarterback. The tight end and the dump off passes to your running backs. Those are your safety nets. And he didn't have Kittle for the whole game, and his running back got hurt halfway through. So let's give him some time. So we both have the 49ers winning this game. The Dallas Cowboys are 7.5-point underdogs at home against the Bengals. How brutal is this?
For
the Cowboys fans,
the
Kyle.
Bengals are pissed, and they're going to go in there and just roll over Dallas. I think
they're going to whoop them.
I think so.
I
think this is going to be a Jerry Jones leaving in the halftime kind of game.
And maybe McCarthy gets fired. They already want him fired. They already know.
Or maybe Cooper Rush is the second coming, and he all of a sudden is Joe Montana out there. Who knows? We don't know. But no, I like the Bengals to whoop their ass.
But I will say that I play daily fantasy leagues also, where you just pick your new lineup for whatever. So me and a couple of the Peterson brothers, we play regularly throughout the season. So we did that Dallas and the Bucks game. So we'll pick one game, and that'll be our game. You choose your 5 guys, whatever. So Brian, he has a 1-point lead over me, and there's like a minute left, maybe, and he's sending all these things that he won and all these gifts and whatever. And the last play of the game, I have Tony Pollard. The last play of the game is a 10-yard pass to Tony Pollard. He has both of the defenses. So between the Tony Pollard 10-yard, that 10-yard to gain, I won by a point. And I likened it to him. I said this is like wrestling. You're wrestling in the ring. The lights turn off, and then the opponent's down in the ring when the lights come back on. Because he was like, "What happened?" I turned it off. I was like, "I won." And we use DraftKings, and it'll have whoever the teams are, and then whoever's winning at that moment, it'll have a big green $sign with the money that they can win. And we put $20 in, you can win $56. So I didn't even realize that the Pollard thing got me over. I just watched the money move from his name to my name. I was like, yes. All right, another blowout. Looking like, at least here, the Texans at the Broncos. The Broncos are a 10-point favorite here. I I mean, if the Broncos lose this game, that's mega trouble for them. But I don't see it happening. I got the Broncos running away with this. What about you, Timmy?
Same here. Broncos at
Yeah,
home, no doubt.
yeah, too much talent. And Russell Wilson just called that timeout yesterday. They wait 30 What? No, Monday. My days
Monday.
mixed up here. But I mean, like you said earlier, you didn't pay this guy all this money to kick a 64-yard field goal. All right, next up here, Cardinals and the Raiders. The Raiders are a 5.5-point favorite. The Arizona Cardinals look like absolute ass last week. James
Yep.
Conner was the only guy. I mean, Kyler got his points if you're talking about fantasy, but they just look flat, awful, just all around. And I know it was the Chiefs, but
No, they look like crap.
you were one of the favorites last year to go to the playoffs and make some noise. They don't have their number one wide receiver. He's out for the first 6 games. I think it's going to be a rough season. Even though Kyler just got paid and was embarrassed over the offseason with that whole nonsense with the playbook and whatever, but maybe he does need to read the playbook a little bit more. I don't know. But we'll find out. I've got Vegas here.
Yep, Vegas at home in the Death Star, baby.
At the Death Star.
I have to go there just because it's Death Star. No other reason.
It's ridiculous. That place is insane. I mean, just from the video. Next up, the part owner of the Chicago Bears, Aaron Rodgers. Welcome in the Bears, who just upset the 49ers. There's no chance here. I don't care who's why. He'll throw it to himself. He'll be Mr. Perfect out there.
Yep.
But the Packers are 10-point favorite, and this is a blowout. This is a blowout.
I agree.
I think
that those rookies are going to catch this week. Rodgers will fucking put a spell on them.
Oh my God, that's it. I don't know what the. Be careful, you might wind up in jail. He's a convicted murderer, Aaron Rodgers.
He was making $50 million this year. He can make you disappear if he wants to. So.
Yes. All right, that's the Sunday night game, and then we have a double header. There's a few double headers this year on Monday night that I was not aware of until looking at the schedule. But what was it? Like a 7:00 start time, and then like a 9:15 start time or something like that.
I thought it was usually like 10:00, but whatever. I know.
Yeah, I thought so too, but it's an Eagles. There you go. All right, Tennessee. All right. Well, so all right. Let me ask you this question: did Tennessee? Was it Tennessee that lost the game, or the Giants that won that game? Because that kind of carries over into here. Obviously Buffalo is a classier team, and
yeah, no,
I see a blowout either way. But
yeah,
what do you think about? Derrick Henry got trucked, baby.
I mean, it's hard to. I don't want to take anything away from the Giants' victory, but the Giants tried to lose with 2 horrible penalties in that last drive. Yeah. So it's hard to say either way.
They made that field goal easier and easier.
Yeah, with that being said, I think Buffalo's going to walk all over them. I think Henry will be okay, but you got to get going. You got to get get his sea legs back in front of
him. Coming off the injury.
Yeah.
And then they don't have anybody at wide receiver.
Buffalo's home opener. It's gonna be fucking babies going through tables Monday night. You think they're gonna lose that game? They ain't gonna lose that game. Dogs and babies and
chance.
My son's going to his first Monday night game, so he's gonna miss school for 2 days.
That's awesome.
To go to the goddamn Monday night football game. So
that's it. As long as it's not a Giants Monday night game. All right. So wait, look at this. We have picked all the same teams so far.
So we're tying next week because I think we're picking the last game too. So I think we're tying this week.
All right. So,
but we'll see.
Vikings and Eagles in Philadelphia. The Eagles are a 2-point favorite. They look pretty damn good. But they also this is where week 1 comes into play.
Well, they tried to blow it. They tried.
Right. And give up 35 points to the Lions. Now, maybe the Lions are going to average 32 points a game this year. Maybe the Lions are going to average 18, and this is an outlier.
Mm-hmm.
So, all that being said, who do you got in this one?
I have Filthy, unfortunately, going 2-0 at home. Nothing against the Vikings, but this is one of those I'm picking the home team games. Vikings they looked pretty good actually last week. And
Yeah.
don't forget they have a lot of talent, except their quarterback's a little untrustworthy, but they have a good talented team. But I like the Eagles at home. Them and the Giants are 2-0. Dallas will be 0-2, and Washington will be 1-1. So
1-1. They're gonna lose. Yeah. All right. So all right. It takes until the last game of the week for us.
so we're different. All right, and it's the
So
last game of
this
the
will be
week.
the only one.
Literally, it's literally the last game of the week too.
I don't like if and again, that's where the week one comes in. But if the Eagles give up 35 points to the Lions, what can the Vikings do to this team?
No, that's true.
Maybe
If
the Vikings shit the bed and
if this
put
was
10
in
points
Minnesota,
up.
I'd be going for Minnesota probably.
Yeah.
So I'm saying I'm just going with the home team in this one.
Yeah. I just think that it was me and Kyle. I'm afraid to ashamed to say that I agreed with him last week. We were the only two that had Vikings over the Packers. I'm just high. I don't know why. I don't know why I'm high on the Vikings with the quarterback who it is. But then when you look at that quarterback and his stats over the years,
No,
that's really good stat. Like
we bust balls, but he is a good. But the only problem is he makes that big mistake, which overshadows all his other stuff
all the time. You like that?
Yeah, and he's good for those big mistakes. That's the problem.
But has there ever been a quarterback that has gotten the hate and the just not the hate. I hate from a talent perspective. People don't hate Kirk Cousins, but hate from a talent perspective because when you look at every single year, where is his touchdowns to interceptions? Every single year, it's 29-11, 25-12, 27-13, 30-10, 26-6, 35-13, 33-7. Like if you weren't looking at the name, you could say this person might be a Hall of Famer one day.
It's true. I think the money is what really blindsides.
And he's making a shitload of money every year.
He's making way too much money. I think that's just what it is. People are saying, he's not Tom Brady, he's not Aaron Rodgers, he shouldn't be making all that money, but he is a good quarterback. If he doesn't make any stupid mistakes, they can be a dangerous team.
Yeah,
Justin Jefferson is on another level.
That dude is insane. And then to have Adam Thielen as your...
Yeah, I wanted him so bad on my team. I had him last year, and he was gold all year. I wanted him so bad this year, and I didn't get him in either fucking league. I was so upset.
I have in a keeper league with Ed. He brought me in. I think it was last year. It was my first. So it was a keeper league. I don't remember who the keepers were from the team that I took over. But because it's a keeper league, I wound up this year with Mahomes at quarterback, Jonathan Taylor at running back, and Jefferson as my number one wide receiver. That's so between I put out 190 points this week. between those three, I was up there.
In our league, I lost to an auto drafter.
Yeah, you did.
It upsets me when I lose to an auto drafter. even if it is you, Keith, my dear friend for many years. Fucking auto drafting.
He fell asleep like an old man on the couch. He told me.
Auto drafting should get the bottom of the list, not the top of the list, not the next guy.
Unless they've gone in and set up their rankings.
Oh, they set up their queue. That's fine.
Nobody does that. Nobody does that. He's like, just give me the best. 4,000-yard seasons almost every single year. Completion percentages up near 70% every year. In his career, 225 touchdowns to 91 interceptions. And a lifetime quarterback rating of 98.8.
There's just something about him that people don't like.
It is. I think
it's the money. I don't know what
this is hilarious to me. Like, look at these numbers.
I would take those numbers any day of the week. If Daniel Jones could put up those numbers right there,
hell yeah,
we might win the Super Bowl in the next 5 years.
Damn right. All right. So that's the one that we'll disagree on here. So we will be within one game of each other. next week.
But let's hope I'm 16-1 then, or something like that. Because I gotta get
Yes.
back. I gotta get back in it. Listen, it
That's-
has to be me and you at the end again. I gotta be in the top 3 at least.
Yeah. Where was the Well, I mean it's early, but it's Bert. I mean Bert's got 10 victories, so it's week 1. That's like the Lions putting up 35 points. Kyle's in last place though at 7-9.
Well, he likes the Cowboys, so
We like that. And did he pick the Cowboys this week? Hold on. He always telling me that he hates his team. Who's the Cowboys playing? Bengals. No, he picked the Bengals.
even he said they should get
He
rid of
has to.
everybody except for Parsons and
Oh
Diggs.
Yeah. All right. So I think that'll do it for us this week. We're gonna try and return tomorrow for We Stomped You Out, whether it's just the two of us or with our amazing co-hosts, Rodriguez and Keith. And then we got football starting tomorrow. Real quick on our fantasy league. I think you already mentioned you did take an L this week. Wow, look at the yeast rising. Maybe that's another reason why he put up less than 100 points. He put up 97 points, and the other lowest team. Well, that was that, but you took the loss. But that's like a blow. That's better. 161 to 103. I'd rather get blown out, I think, in fantasy. I beat Rodriguez 182 to 144. Jefferson in this league gave me 44.4 points. I have Barkley on this team, 38 points. Swift with 31. So we hope that we keep this up with Barkley. Please.
Yes, I'll take it.
Both
I will
real
lose
and
every
fake.
fantasy game if I can get real Barkley to keep scoring touchdowns the way he's been.
Who you got this week? You've got another auto drafter. You got a Rodriguez.
Fucking auto drafting, man. I can't stand it.
And he's got his projected leaders for this week: Jalen Hurts, Alvin Kamara, and Chase.
I think we're 50-50.
Yeah, you guys are within like a point of each other on the projections. Who do I have this week? I have Kyle and the Stugatz Army. I'm projected 145.8 points. He's projected 145.6. It's gonna be a battle.
Nah, they'll lose.
They better lose. He's got Lamar Jackson. He's got Devontae Adams. He's got Diggs. I could be in trouble. I could be in some trouble. All right, Tim, why don't you get us going here with some thoughts before we head on out here.
Well, let's hope week 2 is as fun as week 1, because week 1 was very fun, especially those late games like we were talking about. Yeah, this is what I said. Week 1 is always a crapshoot. It's a coin toss. Every other thing you can think of, but 2 we'll start seeing who's who, and I can't wait. Let's go Giants.
What's the game of the week this week? I'm going through it. It could be Dolphins, Ravens, Chargers, Chiefs.
Chargers, Chiefs. I would think Chargers, Chiefs. That's a good game.
Any other candidates here? No, I don't think so.
There's still tickets to Giants opener, like legit tickets too, not like up the market value.
Really?
There's actually still legit tickets left.
I mean,
maybe after last week they'll sell out real quick, but
yeah,
I got an email saying tickets still available. I was like, really? If they weren't going up to Buffalo, I probably would have said I'm going to the game opening day. Might as well.
Yeah.
So, but I'll save that for a team I think they're really going to beat. Like I don't know, whoever they're playing at. I think we're really going to beat them. I'm going to go to one of those games.
This might be. Why can't it be us this year, Timmy? Yeah. Why can't it be the Giants? There's always that team.
There's always that one team that annoys the hell out of everybody.
You don't know shit about them coming in. No expectations. We'll see what happens, and then they take off.
We'll be that team that only has 9 wins, but we'll sneak into the playoffs. Pat teams
I'll take it, baby.
10 and 11, they all get pissed off. I love it.
I'm in. I don't give a shit.
I'll take it too. I'll take whatever we can.
All right. So we'll keep you updated in the group. Pay attention to all that kind of stuff. And then we have a couple of contests up on the website. Just want to plug that really quick here. The drama-free Don't worry, darling. There's some drama involved in there. But we're giving away Fandango passes for that. So it's not necessarily advanced screening, but it is on us. So you can start using those as of opening weekend. We're going to be putting out some more contests for the movie Bros, the movie Smile, and I think
that shit looks
that
creepy.
Smile looks very creepy. And there is down here, there's this old. It used to be a church, and they turned it into a movie theater, and so add some creepiness to that. Anytime there's a horror, and that's not against churches, but anytime there's a horror story and it's involving the church and that kind of stuff, or kids, those are the creepiest ones. And if you're sitting in an old church, so we'll see. I might even go to the screening for that one.
Do they call it movies with Jesus or?
You know what they do now? It's just like this. There's this candlelight thing, and I'm mentioning it because I had to go to one. It's a candlelight thing. No, there's candles all over the place, and it is it's for this particular one, they were violinists and one cello, and they were doing they do like there's a Star Wars show out there. I don't know that it's come down here. This was, I'm sorry, this is the second time this year that I've gone to something having to do with Coldplay. My apologies. Happy wife. So but they they're on tour, and they do different there's one that's coming up. There's one for Lord of the Rings, and then there's going to be one for they have I think that they have a Marvel one, but the Coldplay was the newest one, and they sold out. They're just really good. They're really good, and the show only lasts about an hour, and in and out, cool. And it's nice. But that's where that Smile is going to be screening.
You know what though? The people who worried, was it "Don't Worry, Darling"? People are like, people is worried but aren't going to go see it because of the controversy. I want to see it.
More people are going to go see it.
I didn't want to see it before the controversy because I've seen that trailer for about a year now, and I hate that trailer. I fucking hate that trailer because I've seen it every movie for like the past year. Now, but with the controversy, I want to watch it. I'm like, oh, look, she's thinking about banging him. Well, he's banging him.
I wonder what happened there. Yeah,
and this one's spitting on this one, and this one. Oh my god, I want to see it now.
Oh my god, all the crazy stuff going on in Hollywood. All right, so that is it. I'm sure there'll be a couple more contests popping up, but we'll keep you posted in the group and on the fan page. And tomorrow I will drop the ultimate power rankings as we head into week 2. The ultimate rankings. They come right here from Puck Pros.
Only ones that count.
That is it. Screw the other ones. And Jeremy in the group. Enough with the Bucks. Don't tell me what happened last year. You're upset with my rankings because of stuff. The Bucks beat the Bills. The Bucks beat this. That was last year. Bucks had only beat a Dakless Cowboy team this year. Okay, so chill out. I saw CBS has them at number 3, the Bucks. That was I mean, you can have them in the top 10, maybe, but don't. Shit. They didn't look great. Fournette looked great.
Good, but the offense other than Fournette looked like shit.
Yeah, right. And then it's the Cowboys look like shit, and then they lost their starting quarterback. So it wasn't an impressive victory. For me to move them up to number 3.
No, that's ridiculous.
That's one spoiler. The Bucks will not be number 3 on my power rankings tomorrow. All right, that'll do it for us for tonight. Timmy, I appreciate you as always. There you go, Dave. There it is. I got a little bit of sign language for you. But that'll do it for us. And have a good evening, everybody. And let's enjoy another week of football coming up. Peace out, everybody.